Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tenny and I just wanted to show you guys all the books I read in 2025. So in 2025 I had set a goal to read 25 books and I'm just proud to say that I did read all 24 books. So I have a list of my from my Goodreads so that I can just read off of it literally. I don't think I have copies of everything because some of them I read it like to the app Libby, connected to my local library, and then I have a couple of them back home in India, and then some of them here. I don't know if you guys can see, that's my book. My goal is to make it as tall as me. So in January I read The Heartbeat Library by Laura Imai Messina. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing these authors' names correctly, so forgive me. That book was such a warming book. Like it was like dead winter in January, and then it was like such a heartwarming book to read. I think I rated it wait, can I see that here? Okay, I rated it a 4 on 5, which means pretty good for me. Okay, next book I read was Bunny by Mona Awad. I don't know what to say about it. Let me just tell you that I did not like that book. I literally DNF'd it on my read list because I read that book and I rated it a 2 on 5, which is absolutely right. Next one I read was Allegedly, that by Tiffany D. Jackson. That was also another book that I DNF'd because of something about it, like I could not finish reading it. I rated that a 3 on 5, which that book also was a little bit depressing for my taste already. Like I was having winter blues, and this book, like maybe it was not the right time to read it, but maybe I might pick it up in the future, you never know. Next one I read was Sputnik's Sweetheart by Haruki Murakami. Wait, I actually have the book right here about the Sputnik Sweetheart. Let me tell you, I actually enjoyed reading this book. It kept me very intrigued. I would say it was a good book. I think I rated that 4 on 5. Yes, I rated. Next book I read was The Maidens by Alex Michaelis. Gave me bunny vibes, not gonna lie. Like a group of girls in college, like, you know what I mean? I enjoyed this book more than Bunny, but I literally read it in 6 days. That is very fast for me. Next book I read was Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I just feel like I've been reading so many Japanese authors this year. That was a very cute book. I enjoyed it so much and I rated it a 4 on 5. Next book I read was The Bell Jar. Now I don't have a copy I would like to get this copy right here, but the copy I have, I brought it from a random bookstore in India, so this is the only copy I had. It's actually like a Robin Books. I guess that's like an Indian publisher, but there's like a lot of writing from random people, so I really enjoyed this book. Something about as a woman, I felt very connected to the character of this book, about how she was growing up and her relationship with her mother. Related to the protagonist very. Sylvia Plath is my Roman Empire, guys. Like I first learned about Sylvia Plath. Sorry, this is going off topic, but first I learned about Sylvia Plath back in high school, I believe, and moving on to the next books. I do not know how to pronounce this, but English is not my first language, so I don't even know, but it's by Madeline Miller. Circe is a character of the Greek mythology, but I really enjoyed this book because, again, I kind of related to the protagonist, exiled and like shunned away from the world she knows, or this is her gift. Something about it I absolutely enjoyed. And then I was such a huge fan of Percy Jackson back in high school, so this like brought me back to those days. Like I rated this book a 4 on 5 again. Next book I read is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I hadn't read a romance book in such a long time, but my sister, my younger sister, had this book back when I was in India. I enjoyed that book. It was romance, so it was kind of like cliche anyways, but something about it being cliche and simple to read, I liked it. I rated that book a 3 on 5. Okay. The next book I read was Crying in H Mart. I read it on Libby. And let me tell you, I really resonated with the protagonist yet again. Her relationship with her mother. I even cried reading this book. Every review I go through, like people do cry reading this book. I really enjoyed. I keep saying I really enjoyed, but yes, I did enjoy this book. I rated it 4 on 5. Next book I read was The Dancing Girls and Other Stories. So there was literally an exhibition going on near my house back in India, and then they were selling used books. So I got this book and I was like, I'm like waiting to get a Viragio Modern Classic. I do not have a book by this publisher, and I love their cover so much. And then when I saw this, I was like, and Margaret Atwood, so I was like, coming out with me. It's a collection of short stories, so every story had something different to say about it, and then I actually enjoyed this book because it was like a lot of them I had to sit through and like think about it. Like, it's not a straightforward book. If you read it, you're not gonna be like, maybe you are, but for me, I was like people's stories. I actually enjoyed this book, and I love the cover of it. And I rated this book a 3 on 5. The next book was Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. Good book indeed, but something about it, like I was on the protagonist side because I genuinely did not like the other, not protagonist, but like the side character. I don't know, she was just like way too privileged, but I was like rooting for the protagonist, if that makes sense. And I rated that book 3 on 5. The book I read was Terms and Conditions. That's the next book of The Fine Print that I mentioned earlier. I read all 3 of those books. After that I read Final Offer. I feel like I like Final Offer the best. Oh, I actually have Final Offer here. I actually like this book the best, so I brought it along with me. That I don't usually read romance. The next book I read was I Who Have Never Known Men, period me, by Jacqueline Hartman. A very near and dear book for me because I was like rooting for them to. Okay, this is spoilers. I thought they would like figure it out, but I'm not somebody who annotates. I'm starting to, and I think I rated that. This is my 5 on 5 book, y'all. I rated a 5 on 5. This and The Bell Jar, those two are my most favorites. Next book that I read was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Okay, Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Specifically one character of this book and that book, very similar life characters, if that makes sense, right? I did not like the female character, which is like, girl, what you doing? Like, this was an okay book. I think I rated a 4 on 5. I must have liked it then. But I felt that it was very close to the other book, so it was like, oh, I already know kind of like where this is going. That's what I felt reading this book. The next book I read was Once Upon a Broken Heart, romance and fantasy. Which, did I like it? Yes, it was. I think I enjoyed reading it. I can't remember. It didn't stick out to me. The next book I read was A Man Called Ove. It was a book that's like different from the rest. Obviously, every book is different from the rest, but like mostly what I read is like female protagonists or like women protagonists. And inside, because I work with a lot of older people, and then felt like maybe that's where they're coming from. With that book, a 4 on 5. The book I read was Strange Houses by Yukitsu. I don't know how, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but it's a Japanese author, and I read that book in one day. I absolutely enjoyed it. I could not put it down. Like figure out what they were figuring out. It scared me. I would say that was like a horror book for me because of the eerie element, like the very unsettling vibes it had. I couldn't even sleep for one night because I was like overthinking this. That a 4 on 5, yes. The next book I read was by R.F. Kuang. Again, this was my second book by R.F. Kuang that year. I feel like this book was dragged on so long for that ending to have come. But that ending, girl, do we have to go through that much? You know, I just felt like it ended abruptly. Only rated like a 3 on 5. Not a bad book. Next book was Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. Again, this I finished in one day because collection of poems, right? And then a lot of them I like marked that I resonated with. Many ways you connect to this book. It's actually a good one. Anyways, moving on. Next book I read was Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. I think this is the only self-help books I read the whole year. This book I had to read because of a class. I had a class that we had a book club and then we had to read this and then do a presentation on it. I annotated this book. I did enjoy this book. It was a good book. Like there was a lot of repetition. Like I guess that is the point of this book, but it just got to a point where I'm like, okay, I already know. Can we move on? Next book I read was Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erickson. Again, that was also a book for class. Another non-fiction book that I read that year. Like literally classes have to force me to read a non-fiction book. I started categorizing people, what color they were. My mom is a red. No wonder. That's why my dad is blue. I think I am a yellow with a little bit of green and maybe a little bit of red. But also some parts of blue. So I'm like a rainbow. I don't think anybody is truly just one color though. But it was a useful book. Next book that I read, and the last book that I read was The Patron Saint of Liars by Anne Patchett. It was a very cute book. I'm glad I got this and I would recommend. And I think I rated this a 4 on 5. Is it for my books read in 2025? I do enjoy reading and I wanted to show that part of my life on YouTube. Something that my dad, thankfully, thanks to my dad, he still believes in me. So I just want to thank my dad for giving me books to read as a kid. And so yeah, thank you for joining me and see you for the next video. Bye.